What's going on, guys? I'm back. Today we're gonna do a little bit of a different video. I always say that, but it is going to be different. I just wanted to see, it's kind of an experiment really, how much I don't know how much it is actually. When I paid for it, it was 60, the AMD 5350. It's like a really low end GPU, or not GPU, CPU. Here's the story, right? So let's flash back to maybe 2012. I was 12 years old, and my dumb ass, well, let's say, not dumb, but that was the first time I was getting into PC because when the reason I wanted a PC really was I watched PewDiePie, sure some of you do, and he would play Outlast, and all I had was an Xbox 360 at the time, and I couldn't get Outlast, so I was like, God damn, I need to get myself a PC. So I looked up on how to build and all that, and it's just, oh, it's cringe. Austin Evans boson video. Go look it up right now if you can. Austin Evans boson builds, the very first one, the 300 buck one with it. It was so bad. It had an AMD 5350 and an R7 240 and 4 gigs of RAM, and I thought like I'm about to play this game and maxed out like how he was playing it, but no, it didn't work like that. But I still have the case to this day. Like, it's the same case. It's just this PC's been with me for so many years. It's crazy. Like, I went from a 5350 to a Athlon X4 or something, and then Phenom X4, and then what is it? And then now I'm at the FX 6300. Same thing with my graphics cards. I made the mistake with going from a R7 240 to a GT 730, which is like no performance gains, and then I went to a 750 Ti, and about a month ago I just went to the RX 470. So it's kind of a long journey, but the only thing I kept the same from my very first build is the actual case itself. Everything else is completely new. The power supply, I had 2 hard drives that failed on me, and the fans, I replaced them because they were just freaking loud. Everything is just, it's like a ship, like a new, I can't explain it really. It's like a new freshman, I guess you could say, for high school. Like, you go to freshman, you're the new ones there, and then you leave and there's new ones. It's kind of like that. It's hard to explain, but what I wanted to see today, it's kind of a long little story, is how much would it bottleneck in 2016? Because I've had this PC for 4 years now, and I've owned it since then. So this is 4-year old. It's quad core, 2 gigahertz, and it was not good back then, and I'm sure it's not good now. So what I did was I'm sure you're watching it. I replaced the old, not the old, but the new FX and all that. I replaced that and the motherboard with the AMD 5350's motherboard, and I just basically ran, I think, 4 games, and the performance really shows what an extra, what, like $90 would get you. I paid 110 for the FX, so it's pretty crazy how far or how long it's been. Really, it's been a long time coming. But let's get into the benchmarks, and don't worry, I'm not gonna just like not talk during it. I'm gonna talk during it, right? So let's get right into it. Alright, so the game we're gonna start off with is Doom, and the performance was not as bad as I expected. It hovered between, I'd say, like 30 to, I think the highest it went was like 80 at one point. I use Vulkan, and the graphics are set to 1080p Ultra and FXAA with no what's it called, VSync. So I mean, it handled it better than I expected, but it's still, 30 FPS. You kind of cringe at that, don't you? Right? When it got really, really hectic, I could actually really feel it. I use a controller because with the mouse and keyboard, it just felt like, no, I couldn't. So this is with the AMD 5350, and now let's go to the FX and see how it differs. Right now with the FX 6300, man, there is a really big difference on this because you can really feel it. Like, it's smooth now. There's no dips in FPS, and it's to be expected. It's higher price and 6 cores, technically 6 cores, but I mean, for what is it, $30 I think on Amazon, something like that. it handled it pretty good for 1080p Ultra. I mean, you look for another one, CPU $30. You think it'll handle it around 60 FPS? It's playable and it is enjoyable, but it's not optimal, if you know what I mean. It's budget in mind, and it gives you a budget price. So that was Doom. Now we're gonna go to CS:GO and see the difference, which you're gonna be like, what the fuck? Alright, so let's go. Right now we're doing CS:GO on the AMD 5350, and yeah, you can just stay like the FPS because it is not that great, to be honest, especially for CS:GO. So the settings are 1080p maxed out, just like Doom. Every game on here is gonna be maxed out, and it might tax the CPU a lot more, but we have a $200 graphics card in there, so I don't think you want to be playing 720p with it. So the average FPS was around 40 to 70, because the highest it ever got was 70, and the lowest I did see it go was like in the low 30s, high 30s, around there. It is playable, I'll say that. You know, it bottlenecks it quite a bit. It is very playable if you're budget, but I don't think if you on a budget you're gonna have a RX 470. But let's go to the FX and see the massive improvements. All right, now I said now twice. Now we are running CS:GO at the same settings, 1080p max on the FX 6300. It's stock, by the way. Look at that FPS, just like, I don't know, quadruple the FPS with 60 times 4, 24. Yeah, it almost quadrupled the FPS. I mean, that just says a lot, you know. I know the AMD is not meant for gaming. It's probably meant for like watching, you know, browsers. No, I'm playing, but it shows you, you know, it does bottleneck it quite a bit, and if you spend a little more money, you will get a lot more performance. So, you know, 100 more FPS, who can argue with that? So let's continue on, and now we're gonna do Rocket League, and this kind of surprised me. Alright guys, now this is Rocket League running on the AMD 5350, and in the beginning it had to like load up the map, I guess, because it was in the low 30s, but after I'd say like a minute or two, it started to go in the 60s and high 50s, which is like really good. So the settings again are maxed out 1080p, well, high preset. I don't know if there's an ultra, but it's on the highest settings I could do, and no VSync. As you can see, it's 60 FPS, you know, around there. Not solid 60, but it's around 60, which is not bad. This is playable. I mean, I could enjoy myself on this. Even with 30, it'd be a little like how to get used to, but this is enjoyable. It's not bad. And let's go to the FX and see the difference. Alright guys, now Rocket League on the FX 6300. Big ass improvement. What do you expect? It's in the 90s, 80s to 90s, same settings. It even hits around the hundreds, you know. It was around 120. I capped it at 120 the FPS because I didn't see a point in going any further. I got a 60 hertz monitor, and yeah, I don't see a point. Holy shit. I'm watching the video real time. It is locked at 120 frames per second. So we doubled our FPS basically. Still though, I mean, 60 is good enough, which it didn't go horribly. It did alright, you know, it did alright. So the last game we're gonna test is Batman Arkham Origins. I've had this game as long as I've had the PC. Really good game. I remember playing it, and I couldn't stop playing it because it was the only game I could fucking run. Alright, let's get into the tests. Alright guys, now with the 5350, we hovered around, like, it was very dodgy. Like it was in the 30s to 60s. In the beginning it was a little higher FPS because there's not a lot of enemies. I picked this map in particular, not the outside world, because it keeps spawning in a bunch of enemies. It's 101, what the map is called. So you're basically fighting 100 enemies, and it's just you. So they just keep coming and coming. And in the beginning, you know, it was around the 40s, and then once you got really hectic, it was in the low 40s and the high 30s, or around that area, you know. So it's not too bad, but still, this is a 3-year-old game, and it's kind of struggling with it. So yeah, not too good right there. I think the main reason is this clock speed. Really, on all the games, I think that's the main reason. Like, really, it's 2 gigahertz. So what is that? It's not much anymore. Maybe before I was gonna put San Andreas on here, but I decided not to because even my laptop can run that, you know. But let's continue on to the FX and let's see what kind of gains you'll get. I just said gains. Oh my god. Alright guys, same settings, 1080p, Ultra, Batman Arkham Origins, and we're 900 FPS. Like, yeah. Alright, it does go down, but still, that is a lot of fucking FPS. This PC pretty much eats up this game. It's above 60 the entire time. It's in the hundreds. Pretty damn sweet, am I right? But it's just night and day once again. I wasn't really expecting it at this point. When I wasn't Doom, I had a little hope, you know, maybe it wasn't as bad as the price suggested, but yeah. But that's it, guys. That is all the benchmarks for the AMD 5350. I think it's alright, you know, it's okay. I've had it for years now. It's so surreal, you know, like back in 2012, I really didn't care about graphics or FPS and all that. I just wanted to play Outlast, and that was it. And I actually got to play it. It was like 800 or 600, 40 FPS. I didn't care. I love that game. But it's surreal, you know, like I got so caught up in graphics and everything. I used to just be on Xbox, you know, playing Gears of War, enjoying my life, you know. It's just weird. It's been 4 years. I've changed a lot, gone to the gym, I've relationships. It's just crazy now. It's pretty crazy, you know. Kind of going on a little rant, but yeah, this PC's been with me for the longest, so I got respect for it, you know. AMD 5350, man, it kind of puts you into a perspective of, you know, just be glad of what you have, because which I started off with that, and I remember back then all I wanted was a better PC. Now that I have it, you know, I'm thankful, you know, I'm thankful. You know, I'm ranting again, but shit, you know, it's been 4 years, guys. I've changed so much. I started this channel for 2 years ago, and I really have not grown. I haven't even put effort. This is the first time I'm actually putting effort, and this is the first time I'm actually understanding how long it takes to make videos like this. Because get this, I started this video at 7:45 in the morning. Right now, I'm editing right now. I'm watching the video live. I'm like editing real time. It is 11:45. It has taken me what, almost 5 hours just to produce, edit, and cut and do all that. I mean, it is a lot of fucking work, and this is just one day. Like, if you're trying to do something else, it doesn't take way longer. It's just crazy, you know. I understand how it is now. So if you could leave a like and subscribe, that'd be great. Thank you guys. This takes a long ass fucking time, man. It does. Make it worth my time. Just leave a like, guys, and subscribe. That's it for this video. I'll keep uploading more videos like this. I enjoy this type of videos, and I have like 3 other CPUs that are trash, and I kind of want to see how they compare to this, so I might upload that, but not today. I'm out after this. Thank you guys for watching. Subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.